Welcome friends to Physics in 20 minutes. In this video, we are going to look at some of the problem solving tips. We have already solved some of the problems. Let us try to summarize some of these problem solving techniques. This is our first such video. Therefore, I will name it as Problem Solving Tips 1. Problem solving effort involves four major parts. First, reading and visualization. Second, listing the quantities and formulae. Third, the actual solving part. And fourth, analysis of the solution. So let's have a look at all these four steps one by one. The first is reading and visualization. A careful reading of the problem is very important. Sometimes if you read it fast, you might miss out some subtle nuances in the problem, or you might miss out some of the very simple parameters. You must read the problem multiple times, and reading it many a times helps you not only to understand the problem but to visualize it better. Sometimes the problems have got hidden data. These data will not be given explicitly but implicitly. Like say a stone is dropped from certain height. Now here velocity is not given explicitly, but whenever the stone is dropped, it means the initial velocity is 0. So while reading the problem, you have to take care of such hidden informations. Once you read it couple of times, you should be able to correlate with the theory for which the problem is framed. This is very important first step. Once you start the reading of the problem, the visualization should begin automatically. Most of the problems describe some physical situation. In your imagination, you must try to recreate these physical situations. If you are unable to recreate these physical situations in your imagination, then you must draw a rough diagram. Drawing a rough diagram helps to improve your imagination and visualization skills. While you are drawing the rough diagram, you do write down the important parameters and show the important directions. Next is listing the quantities. You must list all the known and unknown quantities in the problem. When you are listing the quantities, you should use appropriate symbols. The theory that we have covered so far, for example, it uses symbols X for position, V for velocity, A for acceleration. So use appropriate symbol and don't interchange. For example, suddenly if you start writing A for displacement or position, then it will lead to confusion. So use proper symbols for the proper quantities. Use appropriate suffixes. Remember, in case of velocity, sometimes you may need to write initial velocity and sometimes you may need to write final velocity. In that case, you have to use proper suffix to show the initial velocity and final velocity. Sometimes there may be more than one objects moving in the problem. In that case, you might need to differentiate the velocity further for object 1 and object 2. When you are writing down the given data, do write down the units properly for all the given data. At the end of the writing, please check if all the data is given in the same units. If it is not, then you might need some conversion in the data, and if it is needed, then please do it immediately. For example, acceleration and displacement might be given in MKS unit, but velocity might be given in CGS. So in that case, you have to convert the velocity from CGS to MKS. Whenever the data is given in a problem, it will be given up to some significant figures. When you are noting down the given data, please note down the significant figures as well. For example, if the data says 36.0 and if you record it just as 36, then its value may not change, but you have reduced the significant figures from 3 to 2, which may affect your calculations later on. For unknown quantities, again list all the unknown quantities. Use appropriate symbols, use appropriate suffixes. So if you have to calculate final velocity, you may write VF or something like that. Check the expected units. So for example, initial velocities might be given in meter per second, while the final answer might be required in kilometer per hour. So you keep a track of that as well. Next is actual solving of the problem. In actual solving of the problem, we have to take care of many things. First is frame of reference. Since we have done motion along one dimension, the choice of x-axis is very important. Mostly it is chosen along the direction of the motion. Next is decision of origin. Where do you want to put the origin is very important, because that will decide your initial time, your initial position, your initial velocity, everything. Next is deciding positive side of the x-axis. That will give positive and negative signs to your displacement, velocity and acceleration vectors. By the time you have noted down all the parameters, decided frame of reference, etc., and correlated your problem with the theory, you must be able to figure out what concept is needed to solve the problem. If you have still not made it, then please go and read the theory again. A revision will help you to understand the solution of the problem. One important aspect in the problems involving motion along straight line is whether the acceleration is constant or not. If acceleration is constant, then you can use kinematical equations as it is. If the acceleration is changing, then you may not be able to use the kinematical equations as they are. Then you have to decide what relevant formula or graph is helpful for you. Now, in the topic that we have covered, there are 4 kinematical equations. 1 or 2 of these should be needed to solve your problems. Again, we have seen xt graph or vt graph. Which of the 2 graph is more suitable to solve the problem, that you have to decide. From the equations, you can solve the problem and make the quantitative predictions, that is prediction in terms of numbers, while from the graph you can make qualitative predictions, that is prediction by argument. Finally, while doing calculations, use correct substitutions. See if you have one unknown variable or 2 unknown variables. If it is just one unknown variable, then one equation is sufficient to get the final answer. If there are 2 unknown variables, then you may have to solve them as simultaneous equations, and sometimes you might get quadratic equations, and you must know how to solve quadratic formula. While doing the calculations, do keep a track of significant figures at every step, and if you are not so good in keeping track of units, then it is always good to write units at every stage of your calculation. The last part of problem solving is analysis of the solution. You have already done your calculation, you have got an answer. Is this answer correct? How would you decide it? So there are many ways by which you can analyze your solution and see if it's correct or not. For example, you can cross-check by calculation. There are 4 kinematical equations. At the max, you will use 1 or 2. You can use remaining kinematical equations and cross-check your answers. Sometimes common sense is very important. For example, if the acceleration is positive and your calculations show that the final velocity is less than initial velocity, that means something has gone wrong in the calculation. So you can go back and check the calculation. Sometimes looking at graph also gives you a hint if your solution has gone incorrect. So these are our first problem solving tips. As we develop the subject matter further, we will have more problem solving tips in future. Thank you.